I am Savvy Mike, and this is Savvy Reviews. And well, this is my official review of episode 1 of season 3. Finally, I think it's been 5, maybe 4 years since we seen a season of Euphoria. All of these people have grown up. They no longer look like high schoolers. They are all full grown adults. We lost 2 people who were on the cast as far as Fezco goes, and I think Jacob Elordi, his character, the dad that was his dad, he passed away for real in real life. So, 2 passings, unfortunately, that the show has to deal with, and they address it in a sense, like both characters are still alive, they're just not around, And while you understand Sam Levinson has some attachment, especially to Fezco, like especially how he talks about him and whatnot. I forget his name. Angus Cloud, I believe that's his name. He had a really close relationship with Buddy. So, I can understand him wanting to keep him alive in the show, even if that means he's in prison for 30 years. It keeps him alive, and in a sense, he's alive and still breathing in this world, and you understand the attachment that he has. And so I get it. I got that part of it with context, though. Regardless of it, they do kind of rush through everything that happened in that last season and kind of wrap it all up in a bow and just go, yeah, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. This person's here, that person's there. All right, let's get to it. And yeah, Rue's still ruined. She's still finding herself in precarious positions and extreme trash moments and brushes with the law and death. It's like all she wanted to do was get high and ended up becoming a drug mule. And so that's what we get here. The lady that she got all the drugs from, and the mom flushed them down the toilet in the last season. She's coming back to collect, but basically Rue has to now work for her. And you ask yourself, why the fuck didn't Rue get the fuck out of there? Like, as soon as she got the chance to leave California, why didn't she leave? Like, why did she stay and get a job? It makes no sense. It's like I said, they kind of rush and for, like, it's all rushed, to be honest. Like, it's a lot happened in the last few episodes of that last season that needs to be explained, but we're time jumping because these aren't high schoolers. They don't look like high schoolers anymore. These are grown adults, and I guess we should treat them like it. And so they were grown adults when they were doing it in the first place, but they're really grown now. Like, they look grown. So we can't call him high school. Jacob Elordi looks like a fucking 30-year-old man. We cannot call him a high schooler. You can't say he's a senior in high school. Look at this fucker. So regardless of it, they had to rush through it, and that was a rush job for sure. And it felt like it. And while I didn't like that, right? I didn't really like the setup and how it kind of just right to where we're at now. Once that was done, once all the setup was over, it got really good. It became what I knew and loved about the last 2 seasons. It became Euphoria. That was the show in a lot of ways. Rue's a drug mule, so she's still dealing with drugs, and now drugs have gotten super dangerous. So now she's dealing with fent and having to deal with that. And her and Jules, she was in the last few seasons of Euphoria as well, but she's all grown up now too. And they're putting fucking fentanyl in their body, smuggling it basically to Mexico. And yeah, a bag busts, they die. So they can't, and it's shitting shit out. It's nasty work. It's nasty work. It's pretty grotesque, but that's what I expect from this show. But then it starts to get into what I believe the theme of the season is going to be about, and that's Rue becoming, I guess, religious and believing in God and believing there's a greater purpose for her life than just what she's into and doing. And so she has a conversation with Coleman Domingo's character, and he says, look, you either believe or you don't. If you think about it too hard, then you're going to keep thinking about it too hard. You just have to choose to be faithful or not. And I felt like that was really poignant, and Rue goes, well, okay, I believe that God is real and he has a better plan for me. And so still dealing with the shit that she's dealing with, having hope in that being instilled, she has to go make a drug drop off. And I like how this episode, because that's honestly was one of my problems with the last season, because the first season is Rue focused and centric. The second season, it focuses more on what's going on with everybody else, like Sydney Sweeney's character, Fezco, Maddie, Jules, what's her name, the Rue's girlfriend, oh man, I want to say the right word, Hunter Schafer. I know that's her name. I just forget her character's name. She didn't pop up in this episode, by the way. So I guess we'll find out what she's up to and what she's dealing with in the next episode, but she didn't pop up in this one. And so Rue just wants her own little slice of heaven, regardless of it, and everybody else does too. We catch up on Sydney Sweeney and Jacob Elordi. They're getting ready to get married. Sydney Sweeney is she wants to spend every piece of money there is in life to make sure she has the dream wedding that she wants to have. Jacob Elordi's not budging because he got a lot going on in the business and whatnot. And she goes, well, I'm about to start doing OnlyFans, buddy. And that's how I'm going to make the money to get my flowers. And you see Jacob Elordi is an amazing actor, and you know, whatever they give him, he's gonna do well. And while I don't really like what they're doing with his character here and where he's at, and I don't think like Buddy from the last two seasons would have he wouldn't have allowed this. He would have just not dealt with her and had to and just left. He would have just left her. He was like, all right, no wedding. But this one, I guess as he's grown, he feels caught up in this, and he wants to give her a dream wedding, and he truly loves her. And so he's just like, I'm not paying $50,000 for some flowers. And she's like, well, I can do OnlyFans, and that'll pay for the flowers. He's like, well, and while and she's just like, then if I can't do that, and if you can't buy the flowers, then well, we're not getting married. And so for some reason, instead of him going, I guess we're not getting married, he says, look, he gives her some ground rules. He goes, look, do what you gotta do, just don't be bullshitting. And there that is. So we catch up with Maddie. Maddie's a manager. I don't want to say Maddie fine as hell. The actress that plays Maddie, look, I am not bunny hopper, you know. I try to stay true to Dr. Umar Johnson and his teachings over here. I do. But when it comes to Maddie, I might play in that snow. It ain't even a mic. I definitely would. She fine as hell. Finest white woman. One of the finest white women I ever seen. That's just a fact. Anyways, I just had to say that. But she's like managing a Hollywood star now, and the best friend of Rue is in that world as well. There was a scene where she was in a writer's room, and I guess which is probably why we get the shows we get nowadays. That's not the good shows. I guess they're treating writer's room like poetry open mics. Niggas are snapping after good ideas are set. I'm like, I could not be in that writer's room. I couldn't. I get annoyed. I'd be like, can we just focus on the good characters and making a good story? Okay, great idea. Let's keep moving. Like, yeah, let's add it. Okay, how do we gotta add this? Where's the dialogue gonna be? What are we doing all snapping for? Because the head writer said some basic shit. Either way, that was odd. But regardless of it, we find out what's happening with those crop of characters. Like I said, we don't really find out what's going on with Hunter Schafer's character. I guess we'll see what's going on there in the next episode. But Rue has to go drop some drugs off for one of the old ladies, I guess sons or cousins, one of these hicks. And he don't like dealing with the black folk because he's racist. He didn't say that, but I think that's what he meant. And so he sends the bag over to Rue and sends her over there. And so she gets over there to his house and is greeted by this guy. He's just standing still with I guess, some necklace in his hand. Or farming. I'm not going to fuck with Buddy. And so they take the drugs to whoever the drug dealer is that's there. And Rue basically walks into this whorehouse in a sense. That's ran by this guy. I forgot his name too. But big guy, cowboy hat. Means business. And when I say means business, he means business. Because he's in the business of pussy. He ain't dealing drugs. He ain't dealing this. He's like, look, drugs get you killed or in jail. This could get you fucked over in that. But one thing that niggas was going to go to war over that niggas are gonna die over, and niggas are gonna go make money just to spend on, is pussy. It's pussy. It was a lot of poignant points in this. I would say I enjoyed this episode a lot more than I feel like everybody else did, but I feel like the critics, they watched the first 4 episodes, so that's how they came with that overall opinion of, oh, it's not as good. But I guess if this first episode is any indication, if they just go off of this first episode really well and everything they set up, I think this will be a good season. In my opinion, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fire. I had a good time. Wow. Yeah, it lost all this momentum for sure. It's huge time skipping jump. If you watch EUPHORIA season 2, it was no point because everything that happened in that season, they just kind of right past, and we're here. So it's just kind of like you're not gonna get no resolution from any of that happened in the second season. But I feel like the story that Sam Levinson is trying to tell, and the way he's setting it up, with Rue becoming a woman of faith, and her saying, yeah, I want to deal with this guy who deals in pussy because I love pussy, and I feel like this is God leading me here. And they have this moment where the drugs that Rue had brought over was laced with fent, and one of the whores, she overdoses and dies. And so it creates a problem for Rue, because Rue is the one who brung the drugs from, and it's just like, you trying to kill our women off? Like, what's going on? And so they think that she was sent for horrible reasons, but she was like, why would I still be here? Like, if I knew this shit was laced with fent how it was, I would have never stayed. I would have left. I would have got the fuck up out of here as fast as possible. But I didn't. I liked the environment. I liked where I was at. I thought everything was cordial. And so she ends up expressing to this man how much she's starting to believe in God. And then he goes, well, let's see if God believes in you. And I don't know what that was a metaphor for or what it meant, because the next thing that happens is her standing outside with an apple on top of her head. And I guess Buddy is like, if God doesn't have any faith in you, that bullet's going to go right through your skull. But if he got faith in me and my shot, if you give my shot's good, then well, you good. And so Buddy, or farming God, tells her not to move. Like, if I was you, I wouldn't move. And Rue, I don't know if she's stopped doing drugs or just she's caught up and trapped in the life that she's trapped in now, so it's just really no point in it. But it's like this moment brings her back to that experience of getting and almost dying was like a fucking hit to her, and it just sent her straight to, well, euphoria. Marshawn Lynch is in this as well. He says an interesting thing. He goes straight up tweaker. And yeah, that was the end of the episode. And I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was gonna be way worse than it actually was. Like, while it has its missteps for sure, it's not perfect, it's not peak, but at the end of the day, I like what was set up. I like where it's going. I want to see what happens. I want to see how this is played out, and let's just hope it doesn't fall flat. Let's just hope it stays on the same trajectory and gets better, if anything. Either way, we'll see. Let me know what you think about this episode of Euphoria in the comments below. Like I said, it's interested in the dialogue that's happening around it. I was like, was I the only one that enjoyed this? Like, I thought it was pretty good. I had fun with it. Anyways, let me know. As always, Savvy Mike, and this is Savvy Reviews. Peace.